Hi, I'm Lawrence. I was always told to get a degree and a job at a good company, but just 3 years into my safe job, I was retrenched and left broke. That idea no longer works. Instead of one job, we need to be focusing on multiple streams of income. As a full-time property investor and coach, my goal is to educate you and other South Africans to reach financial freedom through property. Let's get started.
So today we're looking at a property here in Dassierand, which is in Potch in the northwest. It's a 2-bedroom apartment going for $350. So we just have a look at a couple of the photos. Yeah, looks quite decent. Brick face is nice because it's usually quite low maintenance. There's some parking bays, which is good for your tenants. Obviously, a lot of them will want some sort of parking bay. Looks like a clean, safe, well-maintained area. Let's have a look at the unit on the inside. So this kitchen is quite small, but I don't think it's a massive issue. It looks like there's tenants living there, which is great. I don't have to worry about tenant placement costs. That electrical board here looks pretty good, looks quite modern, and there is a prepaid meter, so I know already just from looking at this that this is prepaid electricity. That's not for me as the owner to pay, but the tenant to pay. The stove also looks in decent condition, looks quite well maintained, and you can often tell how recently a property or a kitchen has been renovated based on the stove or the oven. If the oven and the stove look 20 years old, well then the likelihood is that the kitchen hasn't been touched for a while. This photo doesn't really show much, and what I'm assuming here is that the estate agent is probably not very experienced because this isn't telling me much. Look, there's built-in cupboards, that's good. Again, I'm not seeing too much here, so I assume what happened here is that the estate agent used their phone to take some pictures, which is fine. It's just obviously it doesn't tell me much, so I'd probably have to get a building inspector to go in and just look at the property in detail. So this is the bathroom. Probably just a deep clean required there on that shower, but it looks okay. It looks in decent condition. So yeah, in terms of the condition of the property, it doesn't look bad. Let's see if there's some information here. Spacious 2-bedroom in Dassierand, situated near the West Rand Hospital, Army Base, and Northwest University. So that's a good location. Rates and taxes 300, levies 850. Okay, so we've got enough information now. We can run our numbers on the My Property app page. So I'm just going to expand it here. First things first, copy the URL so I've got it for future reference. Asking price is $350. I'm probably going to go for about the 20% discount here. Maybe let's go at $280. Yeah, 20%. Rental based on my pocket letter selling me about $6,000, so I'll assume $6,000. Let's go a little bit lower. Let's say $5,500 just for safety. Buying costs, we go to our bond calculator. We're going to go in at $280 as an offer price. So let's call that $252. So we'll say a 90% loan, and we're going to buy it in a company. So it's going to tell us that our buying costs are about $28,500. Once you've done this a few times, you can almost start to assume what it might be. The only thing I'm going to put here is I'm going to put some professional fees. I'll probably put about $4,000 just for like a deep clean, and maybe about $5,000 for the paint. We go to finance costs, so we're going to go to 90% at 9.5 interest. Go to the cash flow tab. The levies on this property said was $850, and rates and taxes 300. Building insurance, it should be included in the levies. You obviously just need to double check that with the estate agent as part of your deeper due diligence. Voids, let's go with an 8% void, 8% management, and 5% maintenance. Now, depending on whether the water is prepaid or included in the rent, you might want to include that figure here. Again, that's part of your due diligence with the estate agent. When you phone them, you need to be asking them these kind of questions. What's the rent? Can you prove it? What's the expenses? Can you prove it? Because, of course, your inputs are only as good as your inputs are, will your outputs be good. So a return of investment of 15% sounds lovely. But if your inputs are incorrect, if your rent is higher than it's actually going to be, then that 15% doesn't mean very much. Okay, so 780 Rand as cash flow. We go to the summary tab. Let's see what our return is. 14%, that's decent. That's very decent. Capital required is 65,000 Rand. Return on investment 15%. My concern is probably going to be whether the owner will accept a 20% discount. Let's pump this up. Let's put it to 300,000. which does mean that I probably have to change my transfer costs. So I'm just going to bump this up to about 30,000. If we go back to the summary tab, we'll see that now the return is 10%. This would be the absolute minimum. So my highest offer that I can go is 300,000, but I'd like to get an offer of about 290 across the board. Yeah, so that looks like a relatively decent deal. If you want to have some one-on-one time with me, just check out my website and book a 50-minute slot. Cheers.
Are you tired of having more month at the end of your money? It's time to venture into property investing. And although it may seem scary, don't worry. We've created tons of resources to help you get started. From tools that help you analyze deals, to online training courses, to one-on-one specialized coaching. Click the link in the comments below and get started today.